Hey, well, welcome to IB Business Management Higher Level. This is Jeff Mroshinsky, or Mr. Mro, and I am the teacher, as most of you know already. But want to do a quick introduction. I will keep this brief but short. Old joke. Anyhow, very excited to be back in class with your kids, and very excited to give them at least anything I can in terms of business wisdom and acumen. My background is pretty simple. You can look me up on LinkedIn, of course. I have about 20 years experience in business before I made the move into education. So I started with a business degree from Marquette University, got out in 1992. I was the building manager for the Varsity Theater down on campus in the early 90s. Worked for the Boy Scouts for 3 years doing fundraising, volunteer management, recruiting new kids for membership, program management, all that fun stuff. Then I got out of that, and for 11 years I was in the recruiting field. I hired about 10,000 people, interviewed over 50,000 people, worked with hundreds of client companies, opened offices. I had managed one directly in Fort Atkinson, then opened offices in Elkhorn and Whitewater and Waukesha, then ultimately ended up in Milwaukee for the last 5 years working with a lot of folks in the inner part of the city. Great experience. From there I spun off. I wanted to own my own business. I didn't want to compete with the owners of the recruiting firm. So I got out of it completely. I had been doing part-time fitness training on the side, and so decided to start an in-home fitness training business. Did that successfully for 7 years, but the schedule was terrible for a family. So we had kids in elementary school. My wife and I decided maybe time to pursue a different career that fit the family lifestyle a little better. So as I kept my fitness business going for 3 years, I went back to school and got a teaching certification from Marquette in social studies, and luckily got hired by Catholic Memorial. I had been coaching tennis at Marquette High for 10 years, eventually got into coaching tennis at CMH, and here we are today. So I am now pursuing a graduate degree, a master's degree in business education from UW-Whitewater. It's completely online, and I'm going to be crazy enough to teach 3 classes, history, business of course, and criminal justice this semester, along with taking 2 grad school courses at the same time and coaching running a tennis program with 57 girls. We'll be okay. We're going to make it. Anyhow, in terms of the business class itself, we go over organizational structures, human resources, finance and accounting, marketing and sales, and then finish with operations management. We have an internal assessment, and this year the kids are going to have to, or I should say young adults, are going to have to do an analysis of a local company or a company where they can get primary source data so they can interview somebody or survey employees. Might even be your company, parents that you work at. Anyhow, they are going to focus on an obstacle or a challenge or decision that you have coming down the road, and they are going to make a recommendation as to what your company should do about it. So it'll be pretty cool. There is an exam for IB for potential college credits, but we can get into that in more detail. The key is going to be to figure out, does your college that you're going to, is that college going to offer college credits for the IB exam? So we can look at that in more detail as we go down the road. Let's see. We do also about a week of personal finance. Now, I kind of a disciple of the Millionaire Next Door book, if you've read that from 20 years ago. So that's kind of how my wife and I have run our lives. We also have a Junior Achievement Business Challenge, so we'll get into that in a few months. We have plenty of speakers who talk about different business topics. If you have an interest in being a speaker, please let me know. I have to follow up on a few parents already. So they learn a lot from people who are actually in the business world. And then they don't have to get sick of my war stories from business either. We will have field trips, hopefully. We always have field trips. Really good ones, too. I don't know how the COVID thing is going to work out, but we'll see what we can do. We do have internships coming up. Right now it's only going to be half. We thought we were going to have 15. Right now we're at 7. So the folks that are going to be invited to those, it'll be named, I think, next week. I am not part of that process, but I am part of implementing the IB curriculum along with trying to balance that with the internship people that are possibly missing a class or two a week for their internship. Those not having internships, we will look to do some things in-house or get corporate real world projects that get handed down to you. So we're going to try to get your hands dirty in the business world however we can. Finally, if your son or daughter might be interested in a certain career but they're not sure and they want a job shadow, or if they want to have an informational interview with somebody that is in a certain realm of business, please let me know and we can get them lined up. Those have been very effective. Not a lot of people have taken me up on it, but we can do that. I hope that covers everything. Usually on parent night, I give a little bit about my background, then we talk. And parents may ask a few questions. I tell them about the class, and all goes well. So anyhow, I'm really excited to hand down anything I can to your young adult and let them know what the business world is all about. If you have an interest in sharing that, either by presenting virtually or possibly having a field trip at your place of business if that's ever allowed, or if you even just have a story that you want to email to me that I can share with the students, or a video that you want to record like this. Any of those things would be appreciated, and it gives the students a sense of what's going on in the real world. Thank you for your time. Thank you for entrusting in me and the rest of the teachers at CMH, your child, and giving us a chance to help develop them. My son just graduated last year. He took my HL course in business. My daughter graduated 3 years ago. She's now in her 4th year in the physical therapy program at Marquette. So I've been through it as a parent as well. If you have any questions about just any of that stuff, college, AP and IB exams, or anything you can think of, feel free to reach out to me. I did email everybody about a week or so ago. My cell phone is on there if you care to text. My email as well, and I will maintain communication with you along the way. Again, thank you, and have a great evening.